Hello everyone, this is Susan. I am going to be sharing with you in this video how to make these adorable flowers. I had not done it with the fall leaves yet, but I was playing with them creating a snap frame. These two fall leaves come in one of the snap frame design kits. And so you get different designer templates in them. And I was just playing around because I had made this little flower one, and I thought, I wonder what it's like to take the leaves and see what type of flower they'll make. And as you can see, they made some really fun flowers. So this flower I created with the fall one designer template. And then this one, and these are the same, it's just different colors. And each one is a little bit different than the other one and making it really fun and unique. And then this little flower I created with this one. So I'm gonna share with you guys how I did that. As far as this one goes, it's basically gonna be the same process as I do with this one in the middle, but then I just added like a bunch of fall twos around the edges. So to make it a little bit more fuller of a flower. So let's go ahead and jump into that. And then I'll even share with you how to use the Hello Designer templates that come in the Hello Design Kit, Snap Frame Kit, to create these flowers. Different flowers, but different ones. So let's just jump right into it. Super fun. They were a lot of fun and they look so cute. I just picked up these little frame vases, and I happened to get a set of these just in the Target like $3 section. But I found this bigger one, just slightly bigger. We're still mini here. At Hobby Lobby, and so I was able to pick that up, and it was like $4. So just a mini size little itsy bitsy vase is perfect for them, and you could put some things inside of here. I just haven't gotten that far. Okay, so first step, of course, is to take whatever paper you want to use, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple more out of some red. I really love this red color. And so you'll grab, of course, pencil, handy dandy pencil here, nothing fancy, and we're gonna trace that out. And I actually did trace all of the bits and pieces out. So you're gonna go around the whole thing, and then once, of course, we trace it out, we're going to take scissors that work for you, a good pair of scissors. I personally love the Tim Holtz scissors, but you know, the Fisker scissors are nice and just different things. But a good pair of scissors that you kind of tried and true and all of the above. I always talk about what a good pair of scissors does, and I'm always like, oh, that's not what this video is about, but boy, does it make a difference. That's why I always like to mention it. So we're just gonna cut those different designs out. And you can see that I'm just kind of following those lines, not too perfect, or well, not really stressing too much about being perfect either. And I'm moving it, I'm guiding it through with my left hand. So you see kind of how I'm adjusting that paper as I go and doing that. Sometimes with these straight edges, not all of them are, but you could choose if you wanted to kind of go like this. Sometimes I find myself doing that, but you'll see that this one's not all straight edges. They do curve in sometimes. So like that one's not exactly straight, but if you wanted to adjust it a little, just because of the nature of what we're making, we're about to crumple it a little. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So, but for the most part, I usually just guide the design through with my left hand, and then keeping my station cutting hand kind of positioned there. Now before you crumble it, I definitely recommend that we just ink those edges, and that's gonna hide all of those lovely pencil marks that you see, which again, after much of experience, I think that's why I don't even stress when it's not like 100% perfect, or even if my cuts are a little bit choppy, or like in that corner it was a little choppy, but I was like, inking will cover that right up, and you'll never know the difference. So love to just ink those edges. And it always gives it a nice contrast and nice blend to give you that kind of more final look to your project. Okay, so now that we have that kind of done there, so basically what I did is I pushed down in the middle, okay, and I'm gonna just kind of like, if you're using thicker paper, I guess I should mention that it's a little bit easier to manipulate. Thinner paper will have a harder time with not necessarily tearing. So this is 80-pound paper. This is from an old Kiwi Club kit. I'm not too old. I still have a little bit of scraps left. I love the fall, so I actually enjoy this kit. It was super fun. It was from last year's fall kit. All right, so now on this one, I'm just kind of massaging that paper a little, and then I'm gonna set it in place. So I'm gonna pull this one over the stem, and I'm gonna kind of fill in that gap. And by doing so, that's also pushing those other ones in, but I just wanted to kind of massage that. Now, if you're like, oh, that's it though. If that's a little intimidating, just remember that it's just paper. And then you'll see I just cut that little stem off, right? Because I don't want it poking up over the edge. And that's the basics of what I did. The center, we're gonna cover it with other little bits and pieces. And so you don't have to necessarily worry about how that looks. Then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little hot glue right there, okay? Oh, I need it to be on, so let's give that back a minute. We'll come back to that. I didn't turn on that handy dandy hot glue gun. So we'll come back to that. But that's the general base for us to work off of. And so I'm gonna do the other one, and then I promise we'll come back and finish those designs up. So let's go ahead and make this one as well. I'm gonna do a different color simply because I do want to add them to my flower base and have that beautiful mixture of patterns and colors and oh my, right? Lots of fun things to play around with. So I'm gonna do another little, it's like this creamy yellow. So pretty. All right. So same process, you guys. We're gonna take it from this and we're gonna turn it into this. So trace the leaf out. And I always like to show this process of tracing and cutting it out, just because if you happen to be new to Kiwi Lane, sometimes it's normal to just kind of stick with more of the subtle designs. They're less intimidating or just kind of warming up. So I always like to show actual cutting out of the different designs, basically live in action, so you can kind of see the process and ultimately that it's not, you don't have to be perfect, but it is very simple and low tech, but yet very efficient, meaning efficient use of your paper, but also of your time. So you can see that it doesn't take, I don't have to measure, I don't have to guess, I don't have to, I can easily be able to adjust and create based off of the inspiration and the designer templates. Lots of inspiration comes from the designer templates. Okay guys, so I did ink that, and I'm doing a quick ink job here, almost a little messier, but I think that works still for this project because we're gonna massage it a little bit. And this one is kind of the same thing. So if you want, you can really bend it in and just get that paper to loosen just a little. You can wet it if you guys want. I'm sure someone will be like, oh, you can spray it with water, but I want wouldn't do it personally because I think I can have a little bit more flexibility without it tearing by keeping, just kind of massaging a little bit as we go. Okay, so on this one, so you're gonna see the top of the leaf is gonna kind of be placed outwards on this side, and then we're going to kind of massage it into a circle, right? Like a flower at that point. And again, this is just another fun way you can use this. And then this piece right here, I am gonna bend this back, the stem in this case, right? And the same thing, we're gonna cover the middle. See, it's really no rhyme or reason on how you fold it. Just kind of gives you this little cute little flower of texture and points on your thing. So what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna just adhere that back, and that just gives it a little bit of a texture behind it. And let me show you kind of this one. Well, so you can see how it's just folded, and then that piece is kind of just pulled back there as like a petal in and of itself. So you can round that so it looks like a little petal too, right? Okay. All right, I think this hot glue is good and ready. So let me add a little here. All right. My well-used hot glue gun. And then all my little spider strings go everywhere. And then this one, remember where we bent it over, I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue there. I'm gonna come back around and add more hot glue. I'm just kind of getting that station spot for us to build off of. Okay, that foundation. All right. Now, you can take a hole puncher or a poker and some flower wire, which is, you know, general flower wire you can use. I actually do have this little tip. I have this, I don't know, what little floral branch thing that I picked up, and it had a lot of little flowers, but I've been using it. And this one just happened to have these little felt things that I pulled off and used as little flowers too. And I think this little bunch was like $2 or something, right? And then I pulled the pieces off, and that's how I got my wire branches. I have flower wire, so if you happen to have that too, that works great, but I'm just sharing that I was like, oh, this is right in front of me, I can use this. So you can see these have, each one of them is built with little wires, so just depending on the design. But then you get fun little other bits and pieces that I worked around to create them. So these, you can untangle that one per se, and then cut that in half. That's also why I like the Tim Holtz scissors. They cut through a lot of different materials and still stay sharp for the most part. So that's always great. All right, so I wanted to share that because you can now layer different ones in top. So for example, here I just added a little flower into the middle, and then I add a little greenery to the edge. And I can share some greenery like these. These are super cute, so check those out. Pick those up at Hobby Lobby. And I just added one here, different styles and things. Or we can do, right, little leaf petals coming off of it. Or you can layer it in the middle. So a lot of different ways that you can do that as well. And so let me grab my hole puncher and actually my big crocodile. Here, I'll use that. And you can go straight into the middle and just do a punch there. And in this case, this one has little balls attached to it, so I wanted to do that, right? But it needs a little bit of a center, so You could play with different little designs if you have some of those laying around. It's nice to put them to use in your projects. I tend to use them more in my projects just because they're a little bit bulkier, and so that's the way I can kind of use those up. But I am going to take advantage of these little quick little cute felt flowers. We'll stick that through, and then we'll push it back up, right? Now, as far as once I got that through, I'm gonna just add a little hot glue towards the end piece. So this one I fed through. I will show you if I didn't feed it through, because it doesn't always work out that way. So let me show you, for example, well, that one I fed through. Okay, so this one I just, you know, added a little wrap around towards the end and then adhered that thicker portion to the back end of the flower. So I'll do that with the other one so we can kind of see that together. And I'm gonna let that glue dry up around that base connection there, where that's connecting. And you can add a little bit more, just kind of create a puddle of hot glue to kind of cement that in, right? And then we're gonna let that dry for a moment. There we go. Okay, so moving on to our next one. So in this case, I'm just gonna take a little wire and, like I said, kind of build this top piece that allows us to adhere that to the back end, and then you can still have a stem coming down like that. And then in this case, we could do, if you don't have cream of flowers or whatever, and you want it to coordinate, of course, pull on the hello little flowers. Those could be cute in the center of that as well. And then, you know, just different little, even just an extra touch of color there would be so cute. Let's do it. You guys know me. When I get an idea stuck in my head, I'm like, oh, now I have to see it. So as you can see, very simple though, and not too time consuming, you know, and of course, perfect way to, you can keep them coordinating with your snap frames, change them out with the seasons, because that's totally what I'm doing. And in this case, I wanted that fall flowers, fall leaves, but then it just kind of matches the vibe with the fall colors as well. I think that's what's fun is I created them with the fall leaves, but they just look like flowers. So I could create them in some pinks and some blues, and they would be spring colors, flowers, right? Some yellow ones, so it'd be so cute. So just another fun flower that you can, of course, create. And then I always recommend just kind of, again, massaging that. And then we're gonna layer that in the middle, pull in some hot glue, layer that into the middle without burning our fingers. And then go to the next one. Usually don't burn myself too badly or often, so that's good. You know, they have like little gloves and things like that you could get if that's a common reoccurrence for yourself, but I do recommend just using hot glue. That's the type of glue I use on my little fun DIY projects for the most part. And then I'm going to adhere that to the same thing. So I'm just going to create a little puddle of hot glue, good amount here, and then stick that right onto that, like so. We want that to dry. So you could take a pencil or something and then just pull it off the pencil is usually what I do. Nothing fancy, nothing fancy. And I'm just kind of mixing that up in there, and then I'm gonna push it down. And we'll let that dry in the mix. Whoops, there we go. Push it down. And once it gets kind of stuck on there, I might add even a little bit more, just because I really don't want that to, and then I just pull that off of this as well. Okay, it's kind of my little, I don't know, usually I could just use the back end of a pencil there. Showing you guys very basic DIY, and then I like I said, I would add a little puddle more just to make sure it's good and secure. Okay, I think that's plenty. And then we'll let that one cement up as well. And then we'll come back and look at our wonderful creation together. So that is how to create different flowers, those two different flowers using the fall number 1 and 2 that come in the snap frame design kit, which we designed for the snap frame DIY crafts, but can be also cute for these various other fun ways that I had a lot of fun, and who knew until you start playing to create. And then there's this design as well. So this one, like I said, is just taking the one, and then I played around with adding more petals and layers. And you really could have fun with lots of layers if you really wanted to build that up and make a big flower. These can also be fun just as cute little pieces layered. You don't even have to put them in a jar, just kind of layering next to each other. I don't know, could be really cute too. All right, so those are those 2 flowers. And so just quickly, I'll share with you on these ones. These ones I used the Hello designer templates, and so those come with these 3 different ones, so that you see here, Hello 1, 2, and 3. And this bigger one right here, is Hello 2, and so I just simply traced and cut it out, and then I massaged it, and I kept it really simple, no other little layers in here, but you could be really cute with like Hello 1 layered on Hello 2 and have different pops of layers and colors coming out. And then I just stuck it through, add a little bit of drops of hot glue there, and that's it. And it kept it all mushed together, okay? On this one, pretty much the same thing, but I used Hello 1. I massaged it, pulled it together, stuck a middle in, and in this one, I glued the top to, or I glued this piece before I stuck it in, and then stuck it in, and then pushed the sides up a little bit in the middle, like that. And then it kind of kept it popped up and formatted in its shape. And then on this one, I layered 2 of the Hello number 3s together. Such a cute flower. And again, you kind of want to, after you trace and cut each one out, so I did 2 of them. So one on this back layer, one on this top layer. I massaged the different petals like so, right? And then I layered the next one on and so forth, but kind of crumbled it a little bit. Not necessarily crumbled, but like I showed you, massaging. Massage the paper a little bit. It's kind of a little bit of like a therapeutic massage for you as well. So those are really, really simple using the Hello 1, 2, and 3. Those designer templates. So not only can you use these on your DIY crafts, you can also make fun other crafts with them. Any of the designer templates, I challenge you to try out different flowers and of course share them. I'd love to be inspired by you and see what you can create, and share it with us using hashtag create with Kiwi Lane. We'd love to see it, and in the community on our website as well. I'm sure other creators would love to celebrate you with you in your creation and be inspired by you. So probably these are pretty much dry now. So we're going to pop them right into our, and you just bend this a little bit, which is great about the wire. We're gonna just pop them right into our vase along with our other ones. I'd even probably bend these up a little so they're not so straight. Just kind of pushing them forward. And then this one too. And if you want to start with longer strings, but for the most part they go in pretty well. I was gonna say so that you have different, like, so they kind of go different layers. That's kind of cute though, the little bit of a cluster that it's creating there. So different little designs that you can see being created there. And that is it. That's how I created these flowers. And we will see you guys in the community. Take care. Bye now.